Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside Out Studio's very first live art mini with Amanda Joy. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm going to be teaching you how to do your own meditative doodle to kind of calm yourself down. I know we've all been feeling a lot of anxiety lately, so this process is just to help you use your own creativity to maybe reduce some anxiety. So here we go. Today we're going to be doing realistic drawing. We're going to make it look like a photograph. We're going to do shading. It's going to be great. April Fools! This is actually a drawing made by one of our artists at Inside Out Studio, Jason Braun. He's a very talented, realistic photorealist artist, and we'd love for you to check him out on our Facebook page or our website, but this is actually not what we're doing today. So I will show you what we're doing. We are going to do a coloring page from scratch, just like those adult coloring books that you may have seen in the stores or done yourself. Maybe you've done some lately. I'm going to show you step by step how to do one from the very beginning, including drawing all the lines yourself. So get ready for that. My name is Amanda Joy. I am the creative arts specialist at Inside Out Studio. I've been working there for the past 6 years. And I love my job. I love working with artists with disabilities. I love seeing their artwork. I love seeing people grow. It's wonderful. And if you are an Inside Out Studio artist, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. If you could give us a shout out, say you're here, I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you can hear me loud and clear, I would love to see some wow faces. That would be wonderful. So, we're gonna get started. So all you need to do this project, there's 3 simple things. You're going to need a piece of white paper. It could be lined paper, but a piece of paper. I'm using cardstock today, which is a little bit thicker. But you could use copy paper. You could use, if you have a sketchbook, you could use that. Pretty much anything that you have available to draw on. So, so we're going to have a piece of paper. The other thing you need is a black marker. You could use, if you don't have a black marker, you could always use a pen, or you could use a pencil. I also have a black China marker, which is like a fancy artist pencil, crayon, I mean. So you could use something like that, anything that's going to give you a nice dark line. So you want your paper, your black marker, and then you're also going to want, for later on, we're going to need some coloring tools. So you could use colored pencils, you can use markers, you can use crayons, or a combination. I'm going to use I'm going to use colored pencils and markers today just to give it a little flair. So have those at the ready. Go ahead and collect your materials. Don't worry if I'll kind of go through this slowly so you can get caught up. Yeah, here we go. So join me on the paper and say hello to my little duck friend. So, we're going to start by drawing some circles, which seems really simple, but it's a really great, it can be a really great meditative practice. So when you draw your circles, we're just going to make an arc on your page. We can start small, and then you're going to just steer your line back to where the line started. So they're meeting at one point, and it's a closed circle, a lot like that. So you can pick anywhere on your paper. It doesn't have to be exactly where I'm doing it. You choose where you want your circles. So I'm going to draw another one, and I'm going to slow down as I steer around to go back to the place I started, just like that. I'm going to do another one and show you if we're having some trouble and we overshoot the line a little bit, like that. It kind of has a tail on it. You can just take your marker and kind of fill in a little bit, so that it makes a solid line. So right now we're just drawing circles. We want to make sure that they are closed circles. One thing that's good for is the meditative practice itself. Just drawing a closed circle can be a nice relaxing thing to do. But it's also going to be helpful when we are coloring in our drawing, that it's easier to color in, basically. So once we get some little practice circles going on, then we're going to start doing some bigger circles. And the trickiest part, we're going to start with a big arc And then you really want to slow down as you're coming around so that you can meet where you started. So we'll take a couple of places on this page to make some pretty big circles. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I would say make about 5 to 6 larger circles, and the bigger they are, the less tedious coloring in is going to be. That is one of my pointers. So I'm going to keep making my really big circles, slowing down. And they don't have to be perfectly round circles. That is not the goal of this project. They can be ovals, they can be egg-shaped. That's not the important part. The important part is just that we are drawing some circles and they end where they begin. So we also want to take some circles and we're going to go off the edge of the paper. So we'll start on the edge of the paper, we'll make an arc, and then go to the other edge. So that way, when we do these kinds of things, it makes our drawing look bigger, like it's a snapshot of something when things are kind of going off the edge. It just makes for a little bit more interesting drawing when we do things like that. So as you can see, I'm putting some circles going off the edges. I'm going to even do one on a corner. If anybody has any questions as we go along, if anything doesn't make sense, feel free to let me know. We're going to go off the edge. So I'm just going to keep filling in. And then when I have big spaces, I'm going to fill those in with some bigger shapes, and that will just make it go a little bit faster. So as we fill in, we got our bigger circles, and then once we start getting some of these smaller spaces, then we can start doing little circles to fill in. And I like to think of this as like the big circles are like big boulders, and then as we get smaller, we have like kind of like little stones, and then little grains of sand are going to fill in the rest. But if you're the type of person that knows that you would like to spend all day doing this, you could do lots of tiny, super tiny circles. Or if you're somebody who knows that you might have a shorter attention span, maybe focus on getting yourself some nice big circles on there. Excellent. So we're just filling in our page with our circles. And while I have the time, I wanted to tell you about while you're working on this. One really exciting program that we've started at the studio in the past year that I am so proud to be a part of is our community education program, where we staff and artists, Inside Out Studio artists, are co-teaching classes to the community. That has been such an amazing program. It's so amazing to see the artists grow into teachers. It's just amazing to see. It's been really fun to teach with people. And if you are watching and you have taken one of our community classes, we'd love to hear from you in the comments, hear what class you took, or maybe what your experience was, or even if you want to share a picture of what you made on our Facebook page, that would be awesome. So we're just continuing to fill in our space with our circles. And don't forget, as you're doing this, to breathe. It's really important. You want to make sure that as you're drawing, when you breathe, drop your shoulders. You also want to make sure that you're not gripping your pen or pencil marker really hard, because that's actually going to shoot tension all the way up your arm into your neck. So try to just take a second and relax a little bit as you're doing this. I know a lot of people, art is supposed to be a fun, relaxing activity, but for people who aren't used to being creative, I know it can be kind of scary and stressful. So make sure you're just paying attention to how you're reacting as you do this. And remember to just breathe. You can also pay attention to like the sound that the marker or pencil is making on the page. That can be a good way to kind of tune in and turn this into a meditation. Tuning into just the feeling of the contact of your marker or pen on the page. All right. Oh yeah, somebody did a welcome sign class. So good. Glad you're here. Awesome. So we're filling in our circles. So one other thing I invite you to do, I'm going to bring you back down here, is we'll start to put some circles inside some of the bigger circles. That way we get kind of like a bullseye design. Kind of like that. This also looks, I mean, I said it kind of looks like rocks. They kind of also look like bubbles. And this is a whole drawing just made with one shape, which are circles, obviously. So go ahead and continue that. Some of the things that are on some of your circles that are going off the page, you can do little arcs, almost like a rainbow, to continue that. And when you're doing this too, when you're drawing circles inside, they don't have to be perfectly in the center. You could draw a circle that's just like that. It almost looks like, that's very similar to the way a bubble would have like a reflection. So as many as you want, as Bob Ross would say, this is your world, you get to create it. So we'll just add a couple more circles inside our circles, remembering that we're starting our arc and ending our line right where we began. And at this point, you just want to make sure that you have a little bit of at least circles kind of all over your page. One thing we talk about in art is to have a cohesive drawing, you want to kind of spread out your drawings or pieces throughout the drawing here. So instead of having it sectioned at one area, it's kind of spread out through the whole thing. And you don't feel like you have to be super caught up with me. This is something that you can take as much time as you would like to do. Like I said, if you're someone who does not have the patience, you can go fast or slow. Hi, Lindy. Take your time. So I'm going to move on to the color portion of this, but you are more than welcome. I'll show you my first example. The one I did. I filled it completely with little tiny circles. And it makes a really fun drawing, again, just with one shape. And when I was doing this process by myself, I did find it pretty relaxing. So if you're feeling at all relaxed by this or intimidated, just let me know in the comments. So this is where I'm going to stop with this one. And the nice thing about this too is there isn't really a stopping point. You can go, fill it in like I showed you in that example. Or you could stop here. And this looks like a really nice finished drawing. So I'm going to start and I'm going to talk a little bit about color as we move on to our color. So one way too to make a nice cohesive drawing is to, excuse me, pick a set of colors. Excuse me. Goodness. Okay, so so pick a set of colors. So I would say like 3 to 5 colors are good. I'm gonna go with pink. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Pink, yellow. I'm gonna go with green and blue. I'm gonna throw some things too. So that's my little color family. It's kind of almost like a primary color set. And then I'm going to, thanks Grandma. I'm going to add some markers that are similar colors. So if I have a blue, I'm going to pick a blue marker to go with it. Again, if you have a lot of art materials, it's really great to kind of combine these. That'll make a little bit more interesting end result. So I'm going to get out some pink to go with my pink, my blue, and a yellow marker to match my yellow marker and the green. Okay, so let's get into the coloring part of it. Okay, so it really doesn't, this is totally up to you, but I'm gonna show you how I like to start. So I'm just gonna pick a color and kind of go throughout my drawing. Again, kind of like I was saying earlier, kind of picking a place to do it kind of all over, getting something all over the page. And when you get to a shape that has like a curve like this, I like to take my marker and kind of go with the curve, because whenever you use a marker, it leaves like a little trail. You can see where it was with the marks you made, the kind of like the lines. So if we make those go with our drawing, it'll just look a little bit more professional. So we're going to use that a little bit here, a little bit there. Then I'm going to move on to my blue color pencil. And you don't have to use these colors, use your favorite colors. If you want to choose a set of colors that feels relaxing to you, maybe you could feel that. Maybe choose a set of colors that are really exciting. That's all up to you. So when we're doing our color pencil, I like to go one direction, so you can see it, like this, going on, filling in my whole shape. And if you're new to color pencils, the harder you press with your color pencil, the darker your color is going to get. So if I go one direction, I'm going to turn my page 90 degrees, and then I'm going to go the other way. And that just gives it a little bit more texture. It kind of hides a little bit the direction, but it just gives it a little slightly more texture than if you just go one direction. But really, this project is all about what feels good to you. And I'm probably not going to get this all finished in the time that we have, and neither are you, but hopefully at least you'll have a good starting place. And you can work on this as long as you like. So again, I'm kind of doing my cross hatch lines with my colored pencil just to give it a little extra texture. All right, I'm ready to move on to another color. And jump back and forth as the colors as much as you like. My strategy is to kind of start with one color and move on down the road and kind of get a little bit of each color everywhere on my page. And don't worry about two. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the lines. If it feels better to you, if this process would be more fun, if you go through it quickly, then do it. Nobody watching you, just watching me. So yeah, so I'm gonna go around, like I said, kind of going around with my marker in a circular fashion with my lines. And again, if you're feeling yourself kind of tense up at all, usually the coloring part is a little bit more relaxing for most people than the drawing part. A lot of people are scared of drawing, but it's all something we can all kind of tap into. You don't have to be an expert or a pro at it. It's just giving yourself the opportunity to try it out is the most important part. So I got my pink. I think this might actually be a scented marker, which is a surprise. Kind of exciting. Kind of smells like raspberry. All right, and if you are enjoying this video and you can think of somebody that would also enjoy it, please tag them in the comments and then they can find this video, because it's actually available even after the live is over. It's still on our Facebook page and anybody can watch it. Awesome. Good. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. All right. I'm going to move on down the line. I got two more colors to go here, and then I'll probably finish this up on my own later. I swear that marker is scented. I love it. Something I didn't think of. That's actually, as far as a whole sensory experience, scented markers could be a really good part of this. Thanks, Terry. Awesome. So we got kind of like a colorful bubble situation going on here. Very fun. Let's see, I got my yellow. I'm going to do my yellow marker. And also, you can take your colors. It's kind of nice, like I'll put my yellow next to my yellow, and that just that kind of those colors being similar and next to each other is just a little more pleasant for the eye. Hi, Jody Man. So glad we have some artists with us. Hopefully someday down the road we'll be doing this. We'll do some live art with the artists in the studio. Okay, got my yellow. I need yellow here too. And like I said, do not feel rushed. This is something that you can take your time on. Awesome. Okay, so I got my yellow and then I have green. Adding my greens in. Then again, when you do your color pencils, you can go multiple directions. I'm glad seeing lots of people making comments. Oh, essential oil markers. That's a good idea. I've never heard of that before. Excellent. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop for today. You feel free to continue this as long as you want. Like I said, get as detailed as you want, but you can really stop at any time. And then I also want to say, when you're finished with this, you can do lots of things with it. You could take a picture of it. I'll show you my super colored in one. You could take a picture of it and put it as a background on your phone. You could put it on your refrigerator. I know that we could all use some something to brighten our mood now because things are kind of crazy. So feel free to put it on your refrigerator as a mood brightener. You could also fold it in half and turn it into a card. And maybe you could mail it to someone who could use just an extra pick-me-up. So it could be a totally hand-drawn, handwritten note or card. That would be a really nice thing to do. So there's lots of things you can do with it. If you enjoyed this activity, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you have any suggestions for things that you would like to do in the future, I'd love to hear it. Post that in the comments as well. I'll be here again next week, same time, same place, 1 o'clock on Wednesdays. And next week we're going to be doing an activity with toilet paper rolls, the elusive toilet paper rolls of 2020. So hopefully you have some of these in your house. Make sure you collect them and set it aside. We will use this in a fun, creative way to actually do another drawing. It's going to be more of a springtime theme. It'll be really simple supplies, just like it was today. So that is that. Look forward to that next week at the same time. If you are looking for some retail therapy, Inside Out Studio just launched our online store. So if you go to our website, www.insideoutstudioart.com, there is a link on that page to go to our online store. So feel free to shop. We are shipping things from there now. We thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support today. I really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to see what happens next with this Facebook Live stuff. I can't wait to get back in the studio and do some more of it. Until next time, from all of us at Inside Out Studio, happy art making. Thank you.